want to tell you why Tennessee has a explosive play problem. And I know it's been obvious, but when you put it into numbers, it's, I think, even more impactful. And Caleb, I'm not sure. I want to discuss possible reasons why that's the case. Maybe it's just Hendon Hooker. Maybe it's Tennessee's offense has been figured out. I'm not here really to give you that determination. I will when we're done with the numbers. But first, I do want to get to the numbers. So let's go to what Tennessee did in 20 plus plays. Now, I'm going to save 2022 because we all know that that was Tennessee's greatest season. And there we go. So I don't think there's any question about that. But when I look at Tennessee's football explosive plays, 2022 may have been an anomaly. And if it is, then Tennessee may have a coaching issue. Okay. If he had a special Hendon Hooker, if he had a special Jalen Hyatt that allowed him to do what he did in 2022, then Josh Heupel had better find some special players again, because I don't know that he has them now. He might with Mike Matthews, but we know the slot is what really got Hyatt going. Nico, I think we have more questions. As a matter of fact, Caleb, would you take Hendon Hooker for a season over Nico right now? Or do you want to do that tomorrow?
Let's do that tomorrow. I actually have to think about that, believe it or not. But
I do too. I don't think it's
it's not cut and dry.
No. But I will put on that on my list of things that we're going to talk about, if you don't mind making that list. Hooker versus Nico. I do want to discuss that. And then a Nico running more, which that Pickle guy came up with. How am I supposed to pronounce his name?
You said it, Pickle.
Okay. I don't think I keep getting directed on the message board. All right. So let's look back. Okay. 20 plus yards plays may not flip a game, but they'll move the chains and provide a spark. The Vols were 28th in the nation that covered 20 or more yards, with 71 in 2021, Josh Heupel's first season. I'm skipping 2022 by design. They were 80th in the nation in 2023 with just 53 such plays. In 2024, Tennessee had 59 plays over 20 yards, which ranks 61st in the season. I don't care how strong Joe Milton's arm was. Wouldn't you have thought they would have more explosive plays with Nico at the helm?
Yeah, I mean, I literally, he was recruited to be an explosive play quarterback. What was his biggest skill? It was the deep ball. I mean, he had the most pretty deep ball I think we've ever seen in sports. And having to do what he did last year, I mean, that's like putting Michael Vick. That was almost like when Jim Mora tried to force the West Coast offense on Michael Vick. Remember that, Dave, and how that was a disaster?
Yeah. Tennessee 12th in the nation with 38 plays that covered 30 or more yards in 2021. The Vols tumbled to 52nd in the nation in 2023 with just 29 plays that covered 30 or more yards. Tennessee was even worse in 2024 when it managed just 24 plays of 30 or more yards. That's bad. 78th in the nation. There are only 114 teams in the nation. That's not good. Josh Heupel racked up 23 plays of 40 or more yards in 2021, seventh best in the nation. Pretty good right out of the chute. But did he take some people by surprise with his offense? I think you could make that argument. 2023, the Vols racked up 21 plays of 40 or more yards, which ranks 10th best in the nation. In 2024, Tennessee racked up 14 plays of 40 or more yards, which ranked 44th in the nation. 50 or more yards, and then we'll get to the 2022 season. Tennessee managed that feat just 12 times in 2021. Understandable. He didn't have a lot of talent. I get that. I think he did one of his better coaching jobs, probably second best coaching job in 2021 when he was trying to pull Tennessee out of the drinks. All right. That was 13th best in the nation. He did it 9 times in 2023, which is 29th best in the nation, and just 10 times last season, which ranked 17th in the nation. Now, here's my problem. And I want to remind you before I get to these numbers of 2022, because I'm afraid they're going to blow you away. Portions of the program are brought to you by Hound Dogs of Knoxville. Champions look good in orange. They've recently moved some things around in the store. It's easier to get through to find all the top awesome Tennessee memorabilia you would like. Okay, so here's my concern. And you want to do this hot or cold, right, Caleb? Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, and I'm going to go 20, 30, 40, 50. Just look at the 2022 stats and see if Tennessee could ever match the stats for any of those in the future.
Okay, I like what you're thinking. Hot or cold, brought to you by City Heating and Air Conditioning, cityheatandair.com.
Where do you stand? Hot or cold? Brought to you by City Heating and Air Conditioning. Integrity matters. 50 years in East Tennessee. cityheatandair.com. On Off the Hook Sports.
All right, hot or cold, 20-yard plays. Tennessee got 14 in 2022. They were 14th in 2022 with 80 20 or more yard plays. Hot or cold, do you think Tennessee can do that this season?
Yes, I don't think it's hard, believe it or not, to get 14 20-yard plays in 2025. I think that there will be I was actually shocked that it was that low, that they hadn't matched that in the past. I thought Dylan Sampson alone could have gotten like 7 20-yard runs last year. So I think they'll be able to do it this year.
Yep.
That's hot.
I would agree. If they're not, Tennessee's a 7-5 football team. 30-yard plays, which was first in 2022. They had 53. Can they get to 53 30-yard plays?
In 2022, can they get to 53 30-yard plays? I'm going to say no. And I think the reason I'm going to say no, and we'll get to the 40 and 50-yard plays because it could be different for each one, but I don't think this year they'll be working the middle of the field a lot, and that's where you would get your 30-yard plays more traditionally.
I'm
going to say cold.
No, I'm cold on this one as well. And it's not that I'm cold on the rest of them because we'll get to the 40 and 50-yard plays. Hot or cold, brought to you by City Heating and Air Conditioning, cityheatandair.com. But these next numbers, I think, are actually pretty doable, brought to you by City Heat and Air Conditioning.
Hi, Mike Davis here with City Heating and Air, reminding you to always dare to compare. Our team provides quality local heating and air service, installation, and maintenance across East Tennessee. We use only the best equipment like American Standard Heating and Air Conditioning for your residential, new construction, or commercial needs. Honesty, dependability, and customer satisfaction have been the cornerstones of our business since 1961. City Heat and Air.
Dare to compare. All right, Caleb. So here is the next stat that I'm going to throw at you. 40-yard plays or more. Tennessee was first in 2022 with 36. Call me crazy. I think they can do that.
I'm actually, this is where I break with you. I'm cold on that. And it's large, and I'll tell you why I'm cold on that when we get to the next one. But it's largely because, again, still working the middle of the field. I think that's still 40-yard plays or more. And I'm cold on them matching the 2022 production. I think, remember, 2022, they worked the slot a lot because Cedric Tillman got hurt and Brew McCoy was a dictate coverage receiver. And that's where they got Jalen Hyatt. So while you saw the touchdowns with Jalen Hyatt, there were a lot of 30 to 40-yard plays he got too for Tennessee. And I think that's what I don't think they're going to do that as much this year.
Okay. I think they can match that.
That's hot.
All right. And the reason I'm basing this off of is I think Braylon Staley has quicks and overall top speed. I think that Mike Matthews has speed, and Chris Brazel, I believe, can win jump balls. But that's where I am on that. So while the 30-yard plays is the one I went cold on, I will go with the 50-yard plays. They were second in the nation in 2022, 19 plays of 50 or more yards.
That's hot.
I think they can do that.
I think they can surpass that. And see, this is where I know people are wondering how am I saying they won't get to the 36 40-yard plays, but they'll surpass the 19 50-yard plays. I think a lot of the plays that we would talk about as 40-yard plays would be 50-yard plays and more, because I think what they're going to do a lot this year is work the sideline. I think Mike Matthews is a vertical deep threat straight line receiver, Dave, who also dictates coverage, but people don't know he dictates coverage yet. So you're just going to see a lot of deep shots down the sideline that he's going to torch defensive backs on.
Yeah,
next
and you
year.
think the natural evolution is they're going to try to shift their coverage somewhere else. Maybe that opens things up for Braylon Staley in the slot or Chris Brazel, who I think he's going to be a jump ball specialist. I don't think we saw enough of that last year, and I think Nico is going to be willing to hang it up to him.